As a trader online on social media, I see a big problem when it comes to every single trader for the most part that's not profitable yet. And as a trader myself for literally almost 7 years now, which by the way, time literally makes no sense with trading. Like, yes, you could be a trader for 20 years, but you could still suck. Number one, let's talk about all the problems that you guys are having, and I'm going to give you guys a solution to every single problem that you guys have. Why in the world do you have a position size of $1,000 in one trade and $2,500 in the next? And then you take this big loss, and then you size down on the next trade, and then that's when your winner happened, and then you only made $100 when you just lost $200 in the last trade, even though you have a higher percentage. That's probably one of you guys out there for sure. Why in the world are you having two different position size? That's the first problem. Get rid of that. Have the same position size every single time. Why? Because if you have a 1-to-1 risk to reward, it's not going to make sense on a different position size every single thing. If you have a $1,000 position size and you lose 10%, you lose 100. If you make 10%, you made 100. But if you had a 2,500 position size in the next trade and you made 10% on the $1,000 trade and you made $100 and then you lost 10% on the $2,500 account, guess what? You just lost $250, which means that you need to have 2.5 winners just to make up for that one loss, even though it's the same account, but you just sized down and then you sized up on the winner and then you just did this whole thing. That's problem number one. Keep your position size constant. Why in the world are you switching it? Oh, I sized down because I was scared because I took a loss and then I took a win, and then no. Either keep it sized down or keep it sized up. There's no in between. You don't go, oh, today we're doing this, tomorrow we're doing that, today we're doing this. No, bro. I keep my position size equal for a while. There's no point of scaling up and scaling down because of every single day. No, that just makes no sense, and your risk reward is going to be so messed up from that. You can make 20% on the $1,000 position size, and that's $200. But then you lost 10% the next day. Yes, that's good risk reward, but you lost 10% on a $2,500 position size, so you just lost $250. You're still down. Why? Because of your position size. That's the easiest, number one, biggest mistake to avoid. A lot of people do it. I see it all the time. Number two is your risk management. Why in the world are you not stopping out on your stop loss? Like, this is your plan. If you stop out on your stop loss, you journal it 50,000 times. You know if you stopped out there, you would have been profitable here. If you look back, oh, if I just stopped out here, I would actually be profitable in the week. So do it. Like, your plan literally is telling you, yeah, I would have been profitable if I stopped out on my stop loss. But instead, you're trying to hold a winner. Think about it. If it goes past your stop loss, now you're going to have more room to actually make up. Instead of losing this much, you just lost this much. And you know how much your winner has to be? Instead of a winner like this, your winner has to be like this, just be break even. Now imagine your winner was like this and your loser was like this. Now you'd actually be profitable. But instead, you're either break even or you're down because you held past your stop loss. Listen, you should reward yourself on the smallest possible losses. Every time I take the smallest possible loss, I reward myself. Why? Because if I'm able to stop out on my stop loss or before, if I know that it's going to hit my stop loss based on the time of sales and stuff like that, then that's a win. Why? Because if I take a small little win, I'm at least break even or I'm up. Now, obviously, you can't really think like that. Oh, I got to make back my losses. But it's the risk to reward that really matters. That's why stop out on your stop loss or before, and you should celebrate that. You should never celebrate a losing trade that you literally stuck to your plan with. And that's how you subconsciously make losing trades, bigger losing trades, because subconsciously, if you hate you losing, then you're just going to not want to lose and it's going to go past the stop loss. And then you're like, okay, well, you know what? I'm just going to hold back my stop loss because subconsciously I kept killing myself for it and then this whole thing. No, if you lose and you did great, you stuck to your plan, celebrate that subconsciously. You won't make that mistake of selling past your stop loss because you actually celebrate your stop loss. And it's the same thing vice versa. If you take a winning trade but it's actually not part of your plan, don't celebrate because then subconsciously you're like, oh, let's do it again. No. Third thing, switching strategies. Why in the world you take a boot camp from someone's trade and next thing you know, you're trading ICT, and then next thing you know, you're trading this, and then next thing you know, you're trading breakouts and a momentum, and then like, what are you doing? Like you're just doing something wrong. Focus on one and then grow on that, right? Don't go in this one for a couple months and it's not working. Then you go here and then it's not working. You go here and it's not working. Then it's here. This is like, bro, it's not gonna ever work. Follow one thing and just get good at it. Right? Like it's just stick to one strategy and get good at it. You can't be strategy hopping. That's not how you build a real relationship. honestly. And it doesn't even have to do with trading. It goes with everything. Stick with one, and you're good to go. You try and do 4 different things at once, this is not going to go well. Lesson number 4, stop this 5 a.m. cold plunge bath, all this stuff. Like, it's cringy, honestly. Yeah, you go to the gym before training to get your mind right and stuff like that, and now I'll just lose 20%. Like, bro, like, get over it. Just because you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning is not going to make you a better trader or a worse trader. I wake up 15 minutes before market opens, and I'm doing pretty well. The reason being is because it's the type of person that you are that allows you to trade a certain way, and your body will know that you're faking it by waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning for absolutely no reason. You wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and then you're still trading with like EMAs and stuff like that. It's kind of weird. You need to realize that just because you're waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, that doesn't get rid of all of the facts that you suck at trading. So instead of distracting yourself with other stuff outside of trading, you need to hone in on trading and figure out what you're doing wrong with trading. And 5 o'clock in the morning wake up time is not going to save you. And a lot of people think that. A lot of people are like, oh, if I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, get disciplined, it will relate to trading. Now, it kind of is true. Like, yeah, like build discipline outside of trading, and you'll in turn hopefully build that discipline in trading. But discipline, psychological, like all that stuff, people are like, 90% psychology, 10% strategy. If you don't got a good strategy, it's not going to work regardless. Like, you could have the best psychology, like David Goggins could be like, his psychology is great. I'm not running 100 miles, but he sucks at trading, obviously, because he has no knowledge of that. He has no experience of that. And he wakes up pretty early, probably. He probably wakes up 5 o'clock in the morning. He probably does all that cold plunge stuff, but he's not a good trader. You need to apply yourself with trading and not make excuses for yourself. Stop making excuses. Just go for it. Learn how to actually trade the right way, and don't distract yourself by like, I have to go to the gym every single day in order to be a great trader. No, bro. Just become a good trader by doing the stuff you're doing wrong, figuring out what you're doing wrong, turn those weaknesses into strengths, and then you could also go to the gym every single day just to build that discipline, just to make sure you're just a healthy individual. I wake up 15 minutes before the market opens, and I'm a great trader relatively. I think I'm a great trader, and I worked my butt off to become a great trader, and it wasn't because I was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Definitely not. But I think that David Goggins' analogy is like great. He has amazing discipline, stuff that I definitely would never do, but that doesn't make him a better trader than me. 5th thing might be the last thing. I mean, real quick, like, you don't need like 100 different monitors. Like, I could literally trade on my phone and be profitable. So it's like, don't determine your profitability because I only have 2 monitors, I need 3. I only have 1 monitor, I need 2. No, I can be profitable on my phone. Like, I literally could take a trade right in front of you guys right now. Some days I literally trade from the beach. I don't have 3 monitors. I don't have a monitor setup. I don't have my MacBook there, but I'm still a profitable trader. Why? Because it's who I am as a person. I figured out how to actually become profitable. So now I know how to trade. Last thing is chasing these larger percentages. Think about it. I'll give you guys a little math problem, even though you guys probably don't like math and stuff like that, or else you guys would have been profitable already maybe. If I make 100% and I post that on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, you know how many people would be like, oh my gosh, she made 100%, that's crazy. But then literally the next day, let's say my risk to reward is a 1 to 1 risk to reward. Next day I lose 100%, but then I don't post it. That's basically the trading industry. They post these higher percentages, but they have like this 1 to 1 risk to reward, or maybe even less than that. And they'll post these high percentages, but then they'll hold the trade like to negative 80% or something. Barely a 1 to 1 risk to reward. If even a 1 to 1 risk to reward, your win rate sucks because you're trying to go for these higher percentages and stuff like that. Which is why, that's my like number one comment that I get saying, oh, you're only making 20%. Bro, I risk 5% to make 20%. That's like me making 100% and risking like 25%. That's amazing statistics. So it's like, it's not about the percentages, it's about the risk to reward. If I make 2% and I lose 1% on my losers, and I have a 50% win rate, you're profitable. It doesn't matter, you only made 2%. I'm profitable. You can make the same amount. Let's say you risk $100 per trade. You could have a $1,000 position size, and that means you'll lose 10%. Or I could have a $10,000 position size, and my risk is still $100, then I would lose 1%. So it's like, it really doesn't matter your percentages. It matters about your risk to reward and how often you hit your reward versus your risk, and how your risk to reward is, and how much you risked on that trade to make that amount. For example, if you made $50 and risked 80, that's terrible risk to reward. But if you made $50 and you only risked $5, amazing, perfect, that's awesome. That's a 1 to 10 risk to reward. Same thing, if I make $5,000, people see, oh my gosh, they made $5,000. But if I risked $8,000, people like still don't care. They still see the $5,000 like, yo, teach me. But the guy that made $50 on a $5 risk is doing better statistically in that sense than the guy that made $5,000 but he risked $8,000. He just had more capital. So it's like, don't get capital biased either. I don't even know the word for that. Just because you see someone made $100,000 trading, you have to figure out his risk. Did he risk $100,000 to make $100,000? Did he risk $200,000 to make $100,000? Did he go past his stop loss? Did he hold it too long? Like, did he stick to his plan? And that's why it's like when I make $5,000, $10,000, my risk is always like literally 5%. So 2,500, 3,000, 4,000. You guys see it on YouTube. I show my losses for that reason. Judge me on my losers. Why? Because literally they're small compared to my winners. I try and keep them as small as possible, and I do that on purpose. I pride myself in that risk to reward. I don't hold past my stop loss. I don't hold it. I don't average down. I make them as small as possible and let my winners run. I'll make 20%. I'll make $10K and then risk $3,000, $4,000. That's a very good risk to reward. It's a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward if I did that correctly. If I made $1,000 and only risk $200, that's a great risk to reward. That's like a 1 to 4 risk to reward, and people only care about the big numbers, right? Someone makes $100,000, technically they're doing better than the guy that made $5,000, but if you guys see his month to month, the guy that was making $5,000 consistently, he outpaced the guy that made $100,000 because his next trade, he didn't show you guys, but he just lost $200,000 because he doesn't stick to his stop loss. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.